Hey guys, welcome to the show. We're over here on Fourth and Go, and right now we're going to do a recap on the SEC championship game that happened on Saturday. So as you're aware, Georgia defeated LSU 50-30. Wasn't LSU's greatest showing of the season. We knew we had to play pretty perfect game to beat Georgia. Number one team in the country that been showing off all year long, right? Um, LSU did some good and they did some bad. They didn't play their perfect game by any means. Really kind of setting the tone early was the field goal. The blocked field goal that got returned. It was just that foolish play. Hard to imagine how you don't know to go touch the ball. Or be right there so they don't return it. I just think it's just one of the special teams woes of the year, which I know we've had a lot. That doesn't happen. It's a 0-0 ball game. Even if they do get the ball, they go score. And then with the next possession, you threw a 50-yard pass to Keyshawn Booty. So could have been 10-0 ball game if you make the field goal, 10-7 ball game, I'm sorry. So I think that really knocked the wind out of them a little bit. And then the Georgia onslaught kind of came in the second quarter, and it was hard to get back from there. Then you look at Jaden Daniels wasn't himself. He was still hurt from the A&M game, and obviously that really had a factor. Going in there, he re-agitated that ankle. He was really suffering. So the play calls they were calling for his keepers, it just wasn't working, and that's why I can tell he was giving the ball off a lot more to Noah Kane, to Josh Williams, to John Emery. He just wasn't himself, and he wasn't doing a lot of good once he really tweaked it. Now on that drive, on that missed field goal drive, and the next one to Booty, he was finally slinging like we needed to see. Ever since the Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama game, like he's kind of almost been scared a little bit to throw it downfield, and he came out. I think he did a great job of that. He was hitting receivers. They run some short routes, kind of trying to relieve the pressure off their freshman tackles, and I think they did a really, really good job. Neighbors made some great catches. Jenkins made some great catches. Keyshawn Booty made some great catches. So those two drives are really, really good. Even after you give up the field goal, you come right down the field, you start throwing it more. You hit a crossing route with Booty. He breaks a few tackles. He goes, I think, 56 yards for the touchdown. I mean, that even though you had the special teams blunder, that was a way to punch him back into the mouth, say we're not backing down. And that's what they did. But I think Georgia kind of overpowered them. Their offense really bullied up our defense, especially in the second quarter. And it was kind of hard to catch up from there, Then, you had the flukish interception that went off of Jack Bash's hands. Boom. It hit his helmet. They got the ball in the first quarter. First play, second quarter, they threw the 27-yard touchdown. So it put you down 21-7, and it was really hard for you to come back from there. But, going through it all, yeah, you lost by 20 points, but, you start thinking about it. It wasn't as big as it seems. You lost by 20. Okay. Well, if your field goal don't get blocked, all right, well, that's 3 points there. So let's just say that puts you at 33. That brings them down to 43. That's a 10-point swing. Okay? So that's not bad. Went inside the 5-yard line, inside the 10-yard line. You went for it on 4th and 1. You didn't get it. If you'd have took the points right there, it could have made it a 2-score game. Look at that in the grand scheme of things. Well, that's 36-43. That's a one-possession game if we take the points that we were given. That's a one-possession game. And it was a lot closer because, Nussmeier, he came in the game and guy ain't scared. He's not scared, and he slung it. He slung it. And Georgia was not ready for Nussmeier. They were not ready for They're ready for Daniels. That's how they prepared. And Nussmeier slung it on him. And something that Daniels has been afraid at times to do is to trust his receivers. Let his receivers make a play. And thus did. He did. He had the interception. Man, he made some throws. And he made some good throws. Might have made a couple bad ones, but he made some good ones. But most importantly, he let his receivers, make a play. He trusted them, and he was not intimidated by that defense. And the one thing I think you can say about Nussmeier and Daniels is, the bad thing about both of them, it kind of comes down to the same thing, where, Jaden Daniels is sometimes too afraid. He's too scared. He's too scared to throw it downfield. As far as Nussmeier, sometimes he just isn't scared enough. So you kind of got to find that medium, But, Nussmeier threw for about 300 yards and a half. LSU total threw for over 500 yards on this Georgia defense. Like, they put up, if they had any kind of rushing game, like, just watch out what it would have been. Only ran for around 50 yards or so. So it's hard to get the running game going. That's why I thought the calls were very questionable. You got 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and I'm going to run the ball right up the gut on the strength of this Georgia team in shotgun. So I need to make him run 5-6 yards to get 1 yard. And they know that's what's coming. You've got to do something different. I think that was one of the most questionable calls. That let's do some play action, play fake. Run Mason Taylor out on the sideline, kind of like we did versus Bama on the 2-point conversion. Something to get a yard. That's what we need to keep this going, because we need a touchdown there. But at the same time, sometimes you got to take the points. But if you're going to go for it, I would not have ran it up the middle. So I just think the calls there were just, not what I would have expected. I think they were very easy calls to predict. So that's why I was saying, why would you run it there? That's what they think is going to happen. You got to change it up. This defense is too good. Your offensive line is getting so much better than it was versus Florida State. But your offensive line is not as good as Georgia's defensive line. So you're not just going to be able to bully them. It's not going to happen. If you're going to run it up the gut, go up on center, sneak it. Try to get that yard, that half a yard, those few inches. Try to do that. But not from shotgun. It doesn't make any sense to me. LSU's defense, they've been, as they've been playing pretty well this season for the most part, they really got lit up, especially in that second quarter, second half. That run game was wearing them down. Brock Bowers is first time we played him. He's awesome. He's a great tight end. Notice we're putting Bernard Converse on him, our best defender, to try to do something against him, and he had great coverage. And this guy was just bullying him. Couldn't do anything. He was just good. Bennett didn't have enough pressure. But Georgia's offensive line is really, really good. They're up for the the award for the Moore Award for the best offensive line in the country. So they are good. They're able to hold Harold Perkins. They were able to hold Ojulari. I think at times our defense played well, and at times we were just getting gashed because they got some playmakers. I don't think Bennett did anything spectacular himself. He just has playmakers, and he has a great offensive line, and his running game was solid tonight. This year we're rebuilding. That's what we're doing. I know some people were sad, upset. I mean, I don't think you're an LSU fan if you're not, disappointed. I am. I'm disappointed. But at the same time, I'm proud. I'm proud of those guys because, they didn't have a lot show up. That was a Georgia home game, for sure. There was no 50-50 split. That was a Georgia home game. And them boys played their butts off. Nussmeier came in, no questions asked, he slung it. Josh Williams, no running game. But you know what? As soon as they had a hole, he broke it for 40 yards. He wasn't giving up. This defense, they were playing hard. These receivers, they were out there. They were making plays. They were doing what they could. I'm not embarrassed. They played a better team. And Georgia is the best team in the country. There's no doubt about that. And that's what LSU's trying to get to. They've showed this year that they've made strides. They've done things to put them in the best situation possible. I know special teams, we got to fix special teams. Defense, we've got some players there. We know we're going to lose some. We're going to get some more in our draft. Hopefully in the transfer portal, we can supplement those, especially in the defensive backfield, because, you're losing your corners. Kai Gardner's gone. Bernard Converse, he's going to be gone. Jay Ward's going to be gone. We'll see what Greg Brooks does. He does have an extra year due to COVID. He didn't come out for senior night. So let's see what he does. If we can get Greg Brooks back. All right, so we have one of the safeties locked up. Perfect. Then you kind of slide in either your safety, or we can go to the nickel. You have Sage Ryan. So, boom. So there you go. So now you're looking at replacing somebody else there, but you still got corners. What are we gonna do at corner? That's the biggest question, I believe. I think linebacker we're gonna be okay. You got Harold Perkins coming back. You got Greg Penn coming back. You're gonna lose Baskerville. I think that's the heart and soul of that defense there. He's just a playmaker every time he's on the field. So that's gonna be hard to do. We have true freshman Tolan. He's done a great job this year. We'll see how he progresses to next year and see what we have coming to class. Defensive line, you're going to lose your two ends. Ojolari, he's going to go. I mean, he deserves it. He's going to get paid next year. Allegay, he's going to be going. No more eligibility. So we have to replace that. Yeah, we will. So kind of Savion Jones has been doing a good job. And we're just going to see who fits that rotation the best. But as far as the middle, I'm feeling really good about the middle. You're going to get Mason Smith back, who is an absolute beast. Makai Wingo, man, he stepped up. Like he solidified that defensive line when he stepped in this year. So you can have them two at defensive tackle. Plus, you still got to see what's Jacoby Gillard going to do. He's been playing really good, especially coming toward the end of the season. So is he going to stay or is he going to go? I think he can benefit from coming back a year, but he can get paid early going this year. So it depends where his draft grade falls. If it falls out of the third round, I think he may come back because I think he could really benefit from another year. And you got Guillory, another one on your rotation. I mean, you can get all those guys back. So your first and second stringers, you've got a rotation, and you can get guys in and out, and that would be great. So I think the defense is only gonna get better, but we've got to solidify the back end. If we can solidify the back end, I think we're gonna be all right. And just saying again, I'm proud of our boys. They played hard. They played hard all year. From when they came to Florida State to where they are now, I mean, it's night and day difference. So I'm excited about next year. The biggest thing is going to be the two things for me is solidifying that back end of the defense, finding what we got special teams wise, and just who's going to be the quarterback. Is Daniels coming back? He didn't go out. He did not go out for senior night. Who knows? Is he going to come back? It's going to be Nussmeier's show. It's how we're going to show up in the spring and say, not so fast. I'm the 5-star here. LSU's in my blood. I'm coming. What's going to happen? He's going to sit or Nuss gets the job. He sits out another year. Let's see what happens. Citrus Bowl. Citrus Bowl, they're going to play Purdue January 2nd. Obviously, I think they're the better team than Purdue. They play LSU football. We're going to walk out with a win. But it's going to be interesting to see who plays. Who's going to play? Is Jaden Daniels going to play? If he doesn't, then obviously we'll see Nuss. And that'll be another sample size for us to see what's going to happen. Well, is Daniels going to be healthy enough to play? Or if he is healthy, will he play? Or is he going to be preparing for the NFL draft? Or what's going to be the case? You have that Kayshon Boutte. What's he going to do? If he's going, is he going to play in the bowl game for the Citrus Bowl? If I had to put money on it today, I would say no. But could be wrong. Hopefully you'll have Ojolari, but it's possible he sits out too. And you can't really blame him. He's doing what's best for him. So let's just see who we have. But hopefully we have a good showing in Orlando. And we get our 10-win season that we sure thought was a lock a few weeks ago. Um, and as far as going into next year, especially if we have a good win in the Citrus Bowl, have a 10-win season, first year under Brian Kelly. If we can shore up some special teams and secondary and figure out who the quarterback is, I think we'll have a really good team going into next year. You have a great class coming in. And you're only going to add it. I think you're probably going to end up with around 30 recruits right now when you're going to finish off. And then you can hit transfer portal. And I think you'll definitely have to reach there for your defensive backs. Maybe a couple pieces on the O-line, but your O-line is all coming back, you can have your 2 tackles. You're going to have Emory, You're going to have Charles Turner back, Dellinger's going to be back. Miles Frazier's going to be back. Anthony Bradford's going to be back. Campbell's going to be back. So your top 6 linemen's going to be back. Tremont Shorts, I think, has a super senior, another eligibility year. So if he stays, okay, now is that your top 7? And then you got 3 guys coming into the class, especially headline. You got DJ Chester. I think he's going to kick inside to guard because I know you do need some help there as far as inside. You also got Marlon Martinez. He keeps repping with center. So whenever Charles Turner does leave, then, all right, you have somebody instead of fighting like we did this past offseason. But Zalance Hurd, that's one to pay attention to. Teammates with Will Campbell, he looks like a stud tackle. So what happens there? Because Emory still has 2 more years. Does he wait out? Does he kick inside, take somebody's job? Does Emory go back to his natural position at guard? Does the Lance Hurd kick out to right tackle, kind of like in high school where you have him and Campbell? I don't know. It kind of just sees what plays out. But as far as right now, Emory is doing a great job. Emory Jones doing a great job at tackle, and we can just see what we have. But I think the future is bright for this offensive line, and Mason Taylor is a beast at tight end. Coming all the way he did from freshman first game of the year, freshman year to where he is now is just incredible. So I'm very excited about the future. This is just a bump in the road, this SEC championship game. I'm not putting too much into it because we played a pretty bad game, made some mistakes. And, we lost by 20. Take away those mistakes, it's probably a 1-score game with a chance to win at the end. So these guys fought, and that's key. They fought and they never quit. Booty never quit. Ojolari never quit. Those receivers never quit. Ain't nobody quit. Because at the end of the day, they LSU. And they coming. And thanks, guys, for watching. Please like and subscribe my video. And we'll have another video coming out hopefully in a couple days. Maybe even tomorrow if we can get one sooner. But like I said, like and subscribe. Put in the comments anything y'all want me to cover. Anything specific, I will cover. Any ideas y'all have for me, y'all want, any questions I can cover in the next video. Y'all put the comments in there. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll try to do my best to answer all of them. And hopefully y'all enjoy it. Thank you.